one last dance here from Austin this season at Ed Norris Joe Beck Court. And, of course, it has to end like this. The home finale against our vaunted rivals from right down I-35 here in the Battle of the Saints as your Hilltoppers take on the St. Mary's University Rattlers here on Flow College Hoops. I'm Smash Simmons. Of course, ecstatic to be with you. Big game on hand here in the Lone Star Conference as always, but a huge game here tonight as Gavino misses that first shot, because if the Hilltoppers can win one of these next two games against the Rattlers in this back-to-back series, as the Rattlers will have the first bucket thanks to Iman Lawal, the Hilltoppers can get into the Lone Star Conference tournament. They set themselves up terrifically with getting that victory against West Texas A&M on the road. The first time Coach Andre Cook and the Hilltoppers defeated the Buffs in Canyon. As Jamison Kay, whose play has just gone up another level, kicked it up a notch here in the last couple of months, has Jamison Kay. Going to be a big factor here tonight in the success of the Hilltoppers. This is Gavino Ramos outside. Good ball movement. Catch and shoot three from the wing, and it's in. Hilltoppers starting off hot. Connor McManus looking to get back on track after a lackluster scoring effort on the road this past week. But I think the Hilltoppers are starting to round out into final form here in the close of the season. On the drive, terrific take, but the finish isn't there. And now we'll have a foul from behind on Franklin Agu. Agu from London, England. Played well against the Hilltoppers last season. We talked about raising levels for the Hilltoppers. Agu raising his playing level this year for the Rattlers. Agu at the free throw line. Where the first one will drop. He's a 53% free throw shooter coming into this season, is Franklin Agu. Looks like Agu is wearing the pink Kobe's tonight as he misses the second shot, but somehow Stedman is able to chip it in. I'm not sure if it also tipped off of one of the Hilltoppers. You're starting five for St. Edwards. No real surprises here. Off of the cut, terrific execution from Gavino to Jamison for Mason Courtney to get the two. The Hilltopper defense needs to close down, doesn't. The shot misses, and Gavino Ramos gets this ball out in front. But the big fellow, too heavy of a touch right at the bucket. We're coming the other direction. Gavino there defensively to make the first miss happen. The second miss, it takes a third opportunity to get it off in the glass and in to tie it up here at 7. Hilltoppers hit another big one. And the three balls going in early on for St. Edwards as we have a 10-7 advantage here in the first half with 17-16 to go. St. Mary's, they're dressed in the anthracite gray, charcoal gray if you will, uniforms with the yellow gold numerals and lettering that has the royal blue trim and royal blue trim on the shorts and down the sides of the jerseys. That shot's good from three. Damani Claxton, the junior from Bronx, New York. Watch out for him. He is a potent scorer for this Rattlers side, one of the best in the conference at doing so, averaging 17.5 points per game. There's the screen. Gavino overmatched there, getting the ball out of his hands. 13 seconds left on the shot clock. 10 seconds remain now for the Hilltoppers. Going to the big man who is blocked by Iman Lual. The Hilltoppers a little slow to reconvene on the drive. Bofinger kicks it out over to Claxton. Back across the court. Now we're going to play some big boy ball. Agu, no. Back to Bofinger. This shot for three. Hand down, man down. And Lachlan Bofinger, the graduate student from Sydney, Australia, makes it the first lead of this game since the opening bucket for St. Mary's, 13-10. Gavino off of 1 foot, and Gavino will hit a much-needed two to get him going as the Hilltoppers are down by 1, 13-12. Gavino Ramos, we saw it there in the pregame. Just the 23rd Hilltopper to eclipse 1,000 career points here in Austin. There's the press. It brings out the big fella. Interception tip drill, and it's going to be taken away by Jamison Kay. Good defense from the Hilltoppers. Forces the fall. And let's keep it here.
They would have their rival game. The fans from the other team would be ribbing him about his sister as well. So, yeah, he just never can get away from it.
Well, for Gavino, I would imagine as we return to action, it's kind of been like a Cheryl Miller, Reggie Miller type thing. As the Princeton backdoor perfectly ran, as always, in the Hilltoppers back 14-13.
No, it is, and it has been. His club coach would always refer, Mo Harrison would always refer to both of them as, the Reggie and Cheryl. And,
that's got to be tough, though.
It is, but, they're each other's biggest fans.
Yeah.
And so they never took it personal. They took it as a fun thing, but it also the opportunity when you're going to be referred to as Reggie and Cheryl. I mean,
that's pretty good competition.
Yeah, that's very good. And so to be able to have both of them do so well, not only on the court but in the classroom, and Sophia doing what she did at San Diego State, and G being able to play his 4 years and graduate in 4 years, you can't ask for much more than that.
I mean, let's see if this one drops in, and it will for the Rattlers and Eddie McPhee. Talking about that, Mr. Ramos, let me ask you, what does it mean that Gavino, stuck around for 4 years? We see how it is in the ever-changing landscape of college athletics as G going to the rack and will be denied. One of those guys that could have probably left, had opportunities, great player, getting a lot of name recognition around the conference and in other conferences around the nation, but stuck it out here for all 4 years.
One of the things we tried to, his mom, Nikki, and I tried to instill in him, there's got to be some sense of loyalty. And, nowadays that's very hard to come by. When we were in the AAU scene, kids were playing with new teams every other weekend. And we played with the same team from the time he was in the 4th grade all the way up.
Oh, because he had chances to leave during AAU too as well, right?
We would get called constantly from teams not only in the San Antonio area but throughout the country to have him play. I mean, when we were in high school, he stayed his 4 years with legendary coach Rudy Bernal at Antonian. And we would get calls and texts about, hey, have you looked at this? Have you looked at that? And G, to his credit, never wavered. When he didn't get as much playing time his freshman year, and his sophomore year started off a little rough. We had a couple inquiries, and G, to his credit, didn't budge.
I mean, and I recall who he was backing up. He was backing up Daniel Van Zandt, and you go back and look at the record books. He was only here a short time, but man, Van Zandt, another great point guard. But it seems that, including your son, that's all that Coach Andre Cook tends to find, as this shot from three is going to be off the mark. Latique Briscoe in the game, and Gavino still out there running the point. Let's see what Gavino does here. Looking for some room with 9 seconds on the shot clock. The Hilltoppers up by 1, 16-15. As we're talking with Gavino Ramos Sr. off with 1 foot, and it'll bounce out of the cylinder. But, Mr. Ramos, I was always curious while we still have you up here, because I know you really want to watch this game.
No, this is fun. This is a different perspective to be able to see it with you.
No, I appreciate you standing in, and you're more than welcome to stick around as long as you want. But let me ask you, the Hilltoppers get away on the break. This is Gavino. Latique wants it. He'll get it. Latique is met at the rim. Big block here from the Rattlers in the Battle of the Saints, but it's stolen here by McManus. The Hilltoppers have the 4-on-4 numbers. K with the floater, and it drops in. Hilltoppers up by 2, but, you've seen this game now for over 4 years, the Battle of the Saints, and you live in San Antonio. This has been a rivalry that's been going on since these two universities have been founded. I mean, and look at how far we've come. Don't you remember when we didn't have this many fans just a few seasons ago?
Well, growing up in San Antonio, St. Mary's was a legendary school for that, especially when it comes to basketball. Somebody like Robert Reed having played at St. Mary's and going on and playing with Houston Rockets. So with Bubba Myers' dad, Buddy Myers.
Oh, yeah, everything that he did, the court's named after him. So.
That's it's legendary. And so being able to having my son be part of this, and not only be part of it, but play at a level where he's making a difference. And so that's not much you can ask for.
Hey, I always tell the story. I'm not sure if you get a chance to go home and watch the interviews when I talk with Andre Cook, the head coach of the Hilltoppers, but I remember the day where they were like, we got him. It was Coach Ayala who was here at the time, his assistant, and Andre. And they were like, I can't tell you who, but we got who we wanted. And it was your kid. And I was just like, yeah, he was just right the whole way. Swipe, no score, no putback. Latique is there for the cleanup on aisle 6.
Well, you know, the funny story about all of that is Coach Cook had invited us. Coach Cook and Coach Lindsay had invited us for a practice his senior year. So my wife and I are driving up, and he's sitting in the back seat. And I had said, all right, son, if there's some questions you want to ask that you're afraid to, let me know, and I'll be the bad guy. I'll ask them.
Yeah, totally understand.
He says, I think I'm going to commit. And my wife and I kind of looked around, looked at each other, looked at him. We were kind of so surprised I missed the exit.
You missed the exit.
I missed the exit. And so we were about 10 minutes late.
Gavino 3!
We were about 10 minutes late, and he had Coach Ayala waiting for us outside. And when we drove up, they were making fun of us for being late. But we didn't tell them why, but yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It was a surprise. So the only person, once again, the only person he told was his sister.
Wow.
And she was in San Diego, so.
Yeah, I can only imagine at that time. Man, they have a lot of trust in each other.
Oh,
that's great to see, though.
And you wouldn't believe the questions he has for her and the conversations they have, because he can ask her the stuff from a coach's perspective.
Yeah.
And they can feed off each other. There we go. And it's been great. It's been great to see both of them mature, and then the trust they have in each other to be able to confide in each other.
That also reminds me to remind our fans out there, if they haven't been keeping up with UTSA women's basketball, they're having one of their best seasons in school history right now. This shot for 3, Gavino, back again, back-to-back 3. It's much more fun up here when he's hitting,
it's great up here when you can talk about it and see it. No, yes, Coach Karen Aston has done a super job out at UTSA. We've been very fortunate to have Sylvia be part of that, and hopefully they can pull out a victory on Saturday and at least clinch a tie for the conference.
Let me ask you one final question.
Yes, sir.
Because I always wanted to ask you, but you're always, you're busy after the games. I never really get a chance to talk to you about that 3 made by St. Mary's and Damani Claxton, and the Hilltoppers are going to have to try to slow him down. He's one of the top scorers in the conference. Where did your love for this game stem from? Because obviously it's been passed down to your son and to your daughter, and they don't get all this. They don't become good people and have all this loyalty without being guided by people like your wife and yourself, and we can keep it here during this timeout. But I was always just curious, like, what was, growing up in San Antonio, I want to say the Iceman.
And when they gravitated toward basketball, it just made me so happy because it was something that I thoroughly loved, my family loves, and being part of it from, when they were 3 years old all the way to now has been outstanding.
Mr. Ramos, I'm pretty sure that the people that are listening to us right now and watching this game can just get that sense by the way you're talking about, because that's how I sense it. I can see it just shine and irradiate off of you as you describe your passion for this game, and obviously it's something that you passed on to your kids. And man, I really do appreciate you jumping on. If you want to stay on and commentate this game with me, though, you're more than welcome to hang around for the next half if you like.
Well, see, today's such a special day. We have his club coach drove in from San Antonio.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he was watching you.
Yes.
I was like, who is this guy? And I was like, he knows you. I can tell.
That's my dude. That's
nice.
head coach Mo.
Okay, that's Coach Harrison.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
And so G started playing with him when he was in the first grade.
Oh, first grade.
And played with him all the way through high school. I mean,
man, I was already feeling old, but now you're talking about G in first grade. I was just like, oh, what was I doing then?
Yeah,
gosh.
it's been amazing, and that's why he's one of the ones that started the whole Cheryl and Reggie stuff. And so, and you saw my daughter walk by. She's not shy at all either. So,
nah, but the best athletes never are. You know, that's part of it. Latique Briscoe for 3. There he goes, my man. Another one. As it drops in. Yes. 9-point lead here in the Battle of the Saints. Gavino Ramos, senior, here with me. His son, Gavino Ramos. I haven't called him junior once, I think, throughout his whole tenure here.
He's been going by G his almost entire life. And so it's kind of funny when we hear anybody refer to him as Gavino. Ooh.
Latique.
Oh, that was
no hack, and Latique going down hard. Calls can go either direction. Lewis Rowe, big fella, rising up, and no foul given. So, I'll take it anyway. If the referees are going to let it play, the referees are going to let it play. No 3 ball. And that's how you expect things to go here in the Battle of the Saints. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be physical. This is a St. Mary's team that's 16-4 in conference play that are going to be making a trip for the first time in a while to the Lone Star Conference tournament after coming off of what was a difficult season for them last year under first-year head coach Bubba Meyer.
Yeah, his daddy was Buddy Myers.
Yeah,
so.
I get that confused sometimes.
No, they're legendary in San Antonio, the Myers family.
But Buddy, Bubba, a good player in his own right. Back in his day, he took them to the dance in the NCAA tournament when they had transitioned to Division II. Good take on the finish there from Eddie McPhee. And it's a 29-22 lead here for St. Edwards, but St. Mary's not backing down. The big thing here tonight, though, for the Hilltoppers, if they win, they get into the conference tournament. They got to win one of these two, as we'll go to a timeout. We actually have to step away for this one. We haven't hit one of the media timeouts yet. It's 29-22. St. Edwards leads here in the Battle of the Saints. Everybody that's been a part of this program, you know, from parents to producers to any ex-players that stop by, I try to get them on when I can. But, you know, everybody gets caught up in the game. But, I mean, Battle of the Saints right now, you got two factions of fans trying to out-cheer each other. You got a good house here at Ed Norris Joe Beck Court. Lots of the student section coming in to really support their Hilltoppers here for the regular season home finale, as the regular season will wrap up on the road in San Antonio this Saturday. If the Hilltoppers, though, can win one, they take care of business and get into the conference tournament after coming off of their first ever victory at West Texas A&M just this past Saturday. Right now, it's primarily second unit players in here for the Hilltoppers. Beret out there in the rotation. Lewis Rowe, though, still out there alongside Wonder Kahosi. Kaiser and Latique Briscoe. Good ball movement here by the Rattlers. And that was excellent pinball movement as they almost kind of looked like the Golden State Warriors there for a second. Eli's favorite team, 29-24, as the Hilltoppers still up by 5. Kahosi, he's really played strong in the last 2 games since being tasked with more. Curse of the commentator, I'm afraid, as he wasn't ready for the bounce pass. In transition, easy bucket on good ball movement once again. It's going to be Eddie McPhee, who's averaging 5.7 points per game, who gets the finish. It's 29-26. 6:15 remains as Coach Andre Cook will be looking to make a change in this timeout taken. And this is just a 30-second timeout. And for some of you out there, maybe this is your final time watching the Battle of the Saints. But just in case you don't know, this is the type of game where anything can happen. But it really, Gavino getting called for a travel. Really the pressure, I would say, is on the Hilltoppers in this matchup. St. Mary's, with their conference record of 16-4, and again, I can't commend Coach Meyer enough. It's always hard to replace the legend, and being a guy that has kind of grown up in his own dad's shadow, I can completely empathize how difficult it can be to surpass that. And Coach here having one of the best second years in Lone Star Conference play, or one of the best years in conference play in the Lone Star Conference for the Rattlers. And this is going to be a tournament team is looking really strong. Bofinger unable to get the finish. Lachlan, Bofinger, we talk about increase in play and who's gotten better each and every season. He's been one of those guys. Oh, off of the side of the rim, and then it's blocked. The ball almost bounced the Hilltoppers' way. Instead, Wayne Wiggins gives this ball up. Tough defense. The rebound controlled by the 6'2" Lewis Rowe, who looks like he got hit in the mouth there. 5:20 remaining. We're fouled from behind as Jamison Kay takes a hard tumble, and you hear the boos ringing down here from Ed Norris Joe Beck Court. Man, don't tell me that these two teams don't want this game, especially with the way that St. Mary's is playing. They're in the Lone Star Conference tournament. It's really depending on where they're going to be seated. And they really can't drop out considering how many wins they've already tallied up this season. And again, talk about punching above their weight. Nobody expected the Rattlers to be where they're at this portion of the year. But we're going to have a foul on the opposite end, and the foul is going to be caused by the aforementioned Bofinger. Bofinger, graduate student from Sydney, Australia, who played at Montverde. He played at Montverde. I'm not sure if he played, probably came after the Ball brothers. Hey, I saw those guys play in high school. I called a couple of those games, Eli. 29-26. Hilltoppers have the lead by 3. Big fella looking to go to work. He loses the handle as he was looking for the pass. He gets sent down to the ground. He's already playing with that bad wheel. Every time you see Lewis Rowe, he's gutting it out. Good ball movement. Wide open 3 as the Hilltoppers are slow to reconvene. And this ball goes out of bounds. Last touch Rattlers. A big hello to all the family and friends that are checking in all over the world. I'm pretty sure that Jamison K's parents, who couldn't be here tonight, are probably watching out in Yuma. I'm pretty sure Lewis Rowe's parents, who had made the trek all the way from Australia a couple of weeks ago, are probably watching right now. I'm not sure what time it is in Australia, but I'm sure it's really early in the morning over there. We appreciate you stepping by. Lewis Rowe making it all worth it as Lewis Rowe, though, goes down. And this is a really bad situation for the Hilltoppers as Rowe was already banged up. But he takes a really awkward fall there, and thankfully he is helped up to his feet. But you can tell, landed awkwardly. It's the opposite leg that he was than the one that he was having problems with before. So if we're looking for some caveats of the positive, that would be it. But man, that was a really scary situation there for one of those hold your breath moments. But it's good to see that he's up. But you can see he is not walking well. Very gingerly and coming off to the sideline is Lewis Rowe. The training staff is going to take a look at him. He might have twisted his ankle on the way down. Again, I'm not a doctor, so I can't make that type of prognosis. Just merely a possibility. No walk called. Somehow able to get that ball away. And then the two-handed flush from Iman Lawal, able to get it past the grip of Wander Kahozi. There's levels to this game, and that's where you can tell the upperclassmen from the freshmen. But Kahozi, he's been playing tough since being inserted into the lineup, and he'll be going to the free throw line. Will Wander Kahozi. Must-win game. Hilltoppers have to win one of the 2 games that are left, this one included. So either tonight or on Saturday. They win, they get in. They don't win, they're going to need a lot of help. But we do hold some tiebreakers that go in our favor. As Kahozi misses the first, hasn't been a strong free throw shooter, but again, just a freshman. And I'm telling you all, I think he's going to be pretty good because there have been situations where Kahozi has come in and dominated at times. He could be a big difference maker. It's just all about consistency at this level. And Kahozi can't get the second one to go either as Josh Reed comes away with the rebound. This St. Mary's team has a lot of length, a lot of guys that are listed around 6'7" on this squad. As we have the walk. But they don't have like a true big man, but they have a lot of small ball style play that has suit their style. We'll step away for the timeout. They know for sure that they'll be in the playoffs. As this Hilltopper has had its setbacks this season. Less than 4 minutes remain here in the first quarter. Hilltoppers lead 31-28, but they have gone cold for a little while. We have a slip on the defender of St. Mary's. They're able to get back up, though. And the Hilltoppers having some issues trying to break down this Rattler pressing defense. It's man-to-man defense, but with that switch on, Gavino from way outside. Jamison K ends up coming down with it. The wild shot put up on the fadeaway. It still doesn't go. And it looks like that's going to be Lachlan Bofinger who comes away with the rebound. St. Mary's, a lot of slippage as this ball is sent out of play. Hilltoppers 12-8 in conference. St. Mary's, we talked about it already, 16-4. So they're in no real threat of dropping out of the conference playoff scenario. I don't foresee anything that can possibly happen that would knock them out of that type of situation, at least mathematic-wise. The Hilltoppers, though, if something were to miss and they just hit a couple of speed bumps on the way out of this season, they would definitely need some more help. they might be able to get it in that last game on Thursday night for a lot of the teams in the conference. Kick out pass, good ball movement. 5 seconds on the shot clock. A little bit of a bobble, 2 seconds. They're going to have to get a shot off, and they get a decent look, and they're going to say it's a shot clock violation anyways. So it's Hilltoppers basketball, 31-28, 2:54 remains in this first half. Lewis Rowe has it knocked out of his grasp. Mason fading away, gets the shooter touch roll. Does Mason Courtney. The Hilltoppers almost knocked the ball loose. It's kept in play down the sideline. A lot of holding there. No call given, but Jamison K comes away with the interception. Jamison K splits the defense. Looks like Dr. J on that finish as he finger rolls it in. I say Dr. J, maybe I meant like the Iceman since we were talking to Gavino's dad earlier, Gavino Sr. That's got to be one step too many, and it is. Lawal was trying to draw the defensive foul. It won't get the call. 35-28, Hilltoppers have the lead right now as we enter the final 2 minutes of this first half of play. Courtney. Lewis Rowe, who's back in the contest. Rowe back outside. 8 seconds left. This Hilltopper offense can't find a shot. Great pass inside. Rowe comes up short, though. And you wonder how much of the effects of that ginger ankle that he had landed on, how he's feeling now. And you can already see he was asking to come out. So not feeling 100% right now. But hopefully another trip with the medic might be able to have him feeling good. But a minute 35 as students are getting ready for that half-court shot by our sponsors looking to win those ACL tickets. Oh, somehow that ball palmed, and there's Wander Kahosi with the big denial saying, hey, free returns come with a subscription to the paint. Minute 9. 12 seconds left. Gavino, he's triple teamed, and they're going to call him for the travel. And I understand where Coach Cook is getting at. That ball was being bobbled around and never looked like anybody had full control, so how can you call it travel? But at the same token, something was going to get whistled in that situation. It just happened to go against the Hilltoppers. Catch and shoot three, connects. 35-31. And Coach Meyer is going to take a timeout. 35-31. It's a 30-second timeout. We can take one. It's short. Hey, but like I said, you're a big fan of this game. I watched a lot of basketball, Hilltopper basketball. Right now with Lewis, he's not 100%. He wasn't 100% coming into this game. He's been a big difference maker for them, but I'm wondering how effective he's going to be here down the stretch as the Hilltoppers looking to see if they can get one more bucket after that three-pointer was hit by St. Mary's. 20 seconds on the shot clock. There's a 20-second difference between shot and game clock. Lewis Rowe, great spin. Outside for three. Can he hit it? No. The rebound's going to be controlled by Malcolm Stedman. 25 seconds left. There's a second difference between shot and game clock here. Over here to the near side, driving baseline. Denied. He stepped out of bounds. Or are they going to call the foul? And they're going to call a push on the Hilltoppers. That's just the 13th foul of the first half. That's going to be his second personal foul, so they're taking him out of the game to avoid any foul trouble. And Latique Briscoe will come in here with 12.1 seconds left. St. Mary's wastes no time on the inbound. Bofinger Hands it off, step back two. Gavino almost gets the steal, but he's denied. This is going to be a long put up for three. That's within distance, and it's too heavy off of the backside. And that was a very entertaining first half of play. So far, one half done and one half in favor of the Hilltoppers. Can they see? Well, you just saw Jamison K knock in the last bucket as we pick up the action here in the second half. 2 minutes, just about 2 minutes in, as the Hilltoppers had the 35-31 lead at the break. As we welcome you back here to Flow Sports and Flow College Hoops. As we'll have a foul, and it's going to be the first foul committed by the Hilltoppers in the second half. Let me give you an idea of how it looked at halftime at least. For St. Mary's, it's been Iman Lawal as well as Eddie McPhee. They each have 6 points. Lachlan Bofinger has 5 points. And that ball will also be scored by St. Mary's as they tie it up at 39 apiece. Leading the way for the Hilltoppers in the first half, Connor McManus with 10. Gavino Ramos looking for three. Gavino, no. Rims out. At the end of the first half, Gavino had 8, as well as Jamison K, who now has 10. And then Latique Briscoe with 5 off of the bench, who's getting ready to check back in for the Hilltoppers. Lewis Rowe out there working through a bum wheel already. Then had a rough landing where he seemed to have tweaked his other leg, the one that he wasn't having problems with previously. And trying to work through that now. As we take a look at the live stats, St. Mary's hitting 51% of their shots from the field. The Hilltoppers shooting 45%. The Hilltoppers 5 of 11 from 3. St. Mary's 6 of 10. And the Hilltoppers had missed their only free throws that they have taken. Both of them were taken by Kahosi. This shot from the free throw line will swirl in for St. Mary's, as that's just their third free throw of the evening. Latique Briscoe checks back in now. St. Mary's, as expected, out-rebounding the Hilltoppers by 7, 21-14, as both free throws will go. We've had 5 ties, 6 lead changes in this game. Make that 7 ties now. And then the shot clock did not reset. So now we're going to reset the shot clock as we get ready to restart play. Largest lead of this game, 9 points has been the largest lead for the Hilltoppers. St. Mary's has led in 2 moments of this contest. The last time they led, 16-20 left in the first half. They led 13-10 with a 3-point lead. St. Mary's has been moving the ball around nicely. They have 12 assists to the Hilltoppers' 11. St. Edward's taking care of the basketball so far. Only 7 turnovers compared to the Rattlers' 13. And then when it comes to bench points, though, the Rattlers, they continue to get ample scoring from their bench. 12 points to the Hilltoppers' 5. All of them scored by way of Latique Briscoe. No Sam McKinney featuring for the Hilltoppers here tonight, so that will take away some of the firepower from the bench. Back down to Lewis Rowe. Kick out pass K. Dishes it here to Latique Briscoe, who gets his look for 2, overshoots the mark. Rowe pulls down the rebound, and the big fella will be going to the free throw line, looking to see if he can even up this matchup. Hilltoppers lead in points off of turnovers as a team, 16-7, and steals 7-2, as well as fast break points 9-4. But right now, St. Mary's has the 41-39 lead. Lewis Rowe missing the first. He has not been a strong free throw shooter this season.
averaging about 43% from the stripe. But he had to kind of get back into form after the injury. And again, playing through a lot of pain, and is able to do so as it's going to be a turnover. So the Hilltoppers get the basketball back off of the 2 misses from the free throw line. Both teams have committed 2 fouls here in the second half of play. So we got to put the shot clock back to 20, and here we go. Ramos, Kay, McManus, Mason Courtney, and Lewis Rowe, the 5 out there right now for Coach Andre Cook and the Hilltoppers. Jamison Kay looking to get going here in the second half and drains the 3. Big time shot for Jamison Kay, whose play has just continued to rise leaps and bounds as the season has progressed. Bofinger, fancy handles, but can't get the finish. Briscoe almost fouled out of bounds and instead able to get the ball away. Gavino will get fouled as Damani Claxon was right at the same spot as Gavino. Tried to throw his hands up to get out of the way, but made contact with the hip. (42-41), Hilltoppers in front by 1. We've gone through the freeze this past week into nice warm spring weather now, and you can kind of feel it here inside the RAC here at Ed Norris Joe Beck Court. Courtney gets pushed from behind, no foul, and we'll play on. Both these officials have allowed this game to be physical, but they've been calling it both ways. Going down low to Agu. Kicks it out on the drive, spin, dish, 3. Back iron, Agu taps it away into the hands of Latique Briscoe. Briscoe able to get to the rack as he split the defense like Moses splits the Red Sea, and it's 44-41 as the Hilltoppers take a 3-point advantage. That's what Latique brings to the table. He just has instant offense, and it's a travel. Again, the referees are letting the physicality go in this contest. That is to be expected. The Battle of the Saints gets a little chippy, and with play. 44-41, 15:28 left in this second half of play as the Hilltoppers have the lead in the Battle of the Saints. The directive is very clear. Win and get in for the Hilltoppers in the Lone Star Conference Tournament playoffs. Latique, tip drill, and score. And Latique scoring 4 points in a row in the last 2 possessions pushes the lead up to 5 for St. Edwards, 46-41, as that vaunted Jeff Evans press that has been instigated into this Hilltoppers team is now rolling. Man down, and that's Stedman who tripped. Here to the outside wing, 1 extra pass, good look for 3. It's popped into the air. Who wants it? Into the hands of the Rattlers, and there's going to be a foul with contact made as Lawyer Jones, the freshman from Waco, Texas, was trying to get to the rim and finish. I would imagine his family and friends able to make the trip down from I-35. Not without some traffic, though, that's for sure. But if they left early enough, they made it on time for this game. Waco Midway not too far from Austin, but you do have to travel the entire spectrum of I-35. That's past downtown to get here. And as we're talking about the Waco kid, maybe a little curse of the commentator as they missed the first free throw, does Lawyer Jones. A 62% free throw shooter coming into this game where he averages 3.9 points per contest for the Rattlers this season. The freshman hits the second one, 46-42. The Hilltoppers up by 4. The point star in Gavino Ramos. This ball tipped out of play. It will stay with the Hilltoppers with 19 seconds left on the shot clock. Right near the feet of Topper. It's good to see them out. They made it for both the men's and women's game to Topper. And the SUU cheer team and dance squad. Lewis Rowe will come out. Briscoe looks to inbound. Here to Gavino Ramos. Gavino beats his man. Gavino doesn't get the finish, but was able to get past the defense, and it'll be touched out of play. It's Hilltopper basketball. Latique will inbound 46-42. Catch and shoot 2. It comes up short as it shaves the rim. And they'll dribble it out of bounds. And it's Hilltopper basketball. Damani Claxton loses the handles. And it's Hilltopper possession. 46-42. We've been at a stalemate here in the last couple of minutes as neither team been able to get going. And the cut is read defensively as Lawyer Jones gets the steal. Bofinger took like 3 steps and has it stolen by Wander Kahosi. Bofinger still down on the other end. It's 5-on-4. Gavino outside all day from the wing, and you can count that. 49-42. Mason Courtney talking trash to Lawyer Jones as they share a couple of words after that made 3 for Courtney. The transfer student from Clifton Park, New York, by way of Siena. First time wasn't the charm. Second time was for Bofinger. And that will send him to the free throw line. Now, Bofinger, a 49% free throw coming into this game. Hits the old school three-point play as he swishes the free throw. 49-45. This one's tight. This is exactly how we thought it was going to play out, folks. Thanks again for stopping by. It's been an interesting evening. Had a chance to talk with Gavino Ramos Sr. about both of his kids, particularly Gavino, and what he has done with this program and going to the rack. Will have a foul as is committed by Lawyer Jones. Agu will be checking in. Kahosi playing some big minutes with McKinney being out this contest. Short bench for the Hilltoppers, but again, this is a team that got their first ever win against West Texas A&M, and good IQ play there as Mason Courtney inbounds it to the uncovered Gavino Ramos, who drops in the baby too. 51-45, 13 minutes remain here in the first round of the Battle of the Saints as these two teams will meet again in San Antonio. For the Hilltoppers, the directive is been there. Return to sender from Kahosi, second block of the game. And we talked about the freshman having to play extended minutes when called upon. He's playing big minutes tonight in a big-time situation, and he's answering the call valiantly. Total team effort so far for the Hilltoppers to have this 51-45 advantage. The press comes late. They just try to bat it over. This is a good look from the corner, and Kahosi is going to be called for the 3. They say that the ball was touched. Everybody here is thinking that the ball was touched, but they're going to say that it was hit underneath the hand. They're not going to go back and look at this. But as you can hear the boos raining down, as it looked like the referee has said it hit him right in the forearm before he was releasing that shot, as the first free throw will drop in for Damani Claxton. Claxton, not a guy that needs help making offense, that's for sure. A 79% free throw shooter, and has 3 free throws after he made the first one, but misses the second. Maybe ball doesn't lie. Or maybe that's just the karma for a bad call. I'm not sure. But, the referees have let these guys play for the majority of the evening, so I'm surprised that was called, even if there was contact made, because we've seen other instances where there was clear and blatant contact and there was no whistle given. Now it's a full court press being administered by the Rattlers as the Hilltoppers play Wade and Bates with the ball. They have to get it over the timeline, and they do, as Kahosi almost traveled. Kahosi, nice move, and it was going to go, and just a little miscommunication there as Mason Courtney was awaiting a wide open three. Briscoe flashed right in the same throwing lane, and I don't think he was expecting the ball to come through there either. Jamison Kay whistled for the foul. That one a little bit more advertent. But the Hilltoppers in real trouble of putting St. Mary's at the free throw line here with 12:22 to play, as that is their sixth team foul. 51-47. Kahosi guarding McPhee, who was hot in the first half for the Rattlers. Agu loses the handle. Kahosi swarming defense here from the Hilltoppers, and it's kept alive by Lewis Rowe into the hands of Mason Courtney. Courtney outside. Latique, catch and shoot three. It bounces out of the rim. Good look, though. Lewis Rowe hits his wet spot, and he falls head over heels as he's now slow to get back up and get back down the court. On the drive, looking for the razzle-dazzle, and will be going to the free throw line as Wayne Wiggins forces the issue. That is the seventh team foul committed by the Hilltoppers. They have now put the Rattlers in the bonus for the remainder of free throws here at the free throw line from the Rattlers out of the timeout. It's now 51-48 after that make from the line by Wayne Wiggins. A 72% free throw shooter misses the second. The Rattlers have been gifted opportunities from the line. They haven't converted necessarily all of them. Here's a double team as Gavino has to throw it out of the way, and it's going to be a 10-second violation as the Hilltoppers unable to get it over the timeline quick enough. Oh, looks like this is actually going to be reversed. Okay, no, it is a violation. They'll get it on the half-court inbound. Yeah, and the shot clock needs to be running.
Why say no when it's still going to say yes?
On the drive. Hilltoppers trying to deny. That was a good fake. Looking to go another one. This shot for three. It rims off. Hilltoppers fighting for the rebound. They can't get it. This ball is going to go back into the hands of the Rattlers with a fresh 20 on the shot clock. Here to the near side. This is Agu off the pack. Not there. Fight for the rebound. Kahosi had it. It goes out of his hands. It's a slip and slide on the court right now as both teams are fighting for possession. It's a melee inside Ed Norris Joe Beck court for the fight for the ball. I keep on forgetting that I can't use the word melee in basketball because it has condemnation to the melee in the palace. Malice in the palace. There you go. Okay, so melee is still good. I mean, that's what it was, though. Malice in the palace was a huge melee that hopefully we'll never witness again. But I love the aggression both teams are bringing to the court right here as they were both looking to get on the loose ball. Hilltoppers come away with possession. And the possession era will change as that was a jump ball. Kahosi back across over to Latique Briscoe, who gets it over the timeline. The Hilltoppers have to break the press. Good idea from Gavino. Better defense there from Agu, who read the little dump off to Lewis Rowe. 51-48. Right now, the Hilltoppers, they lead by 3 with 10:52 remaining as we're working our way towards the midway point for the final time here from Ed Norris Joe Beck Court this season. Lewis Rowe one-on-one, too quick to the right-hand side, and there's that little baby floater. When he gets it going, it's almost impossible to stop. A lot of chaos with the basketball as the Hilltoppers were almost able to force the turnover. 53-48, Hilltoppers lead. Agu going to run through the offense, getting to the paint. Agu's blocked, and they're going to call a foul underneath. Foul called on the Hilltoppers. They got to worry about these fouls. Right now, that's only their 8th team foul, but 2 more will put St. Mary's into the double bonus. 53-48. Franklin Agu misses the first. Not necessarily what I expected there from Agu. Even though he's a 53% free throw shooter, he's been one of those guys that knocks down big shots this season. This is a team that did lose to West Texas A&M on the road, but they ended up coming back and beating Eastern New Mexico, and Agu misses both. 53-48. So where the Hilltoppers faltered against the Greyhounds, the Rattlers found success, 77-72. But, you know, different teams match up better than other teams within the conference. Gavino, one of the rare mistakes he's made in this game, but Lewis Rowe cleans it up from NBA distance. I didn't realize that the bank was open at night, but hey, they have a drop-off deposit box that's open 24 hours. You can use it at the bank. 56-48. 9:45 left. That was a big 3 for the Hilltoppers here in the second half. Going baseline, Rattlers. It's Cahosi again! And they're going to call the foul on who, though? And they are going to call this on Cahosi. I want to say that's his 3rd. And it is. That's the 9th foul, though, committed by the Hilltoppers team. So 1 more will make it an automatic shooting 2 opportunity from here on out for the Rattlers as Jamison Kay is getting ready to check back in now. From the free throw line, the first free throw is good from Iman Lawal. As Jamison Kay comes ready to get in. Great run there from Wonder Cahosi. I'm telling you, freshman really growing up in this game today. Really good performance from Wonder. This ball rims out again, and right now the Rattlers are just not converting from the free throw line, and that's a big reason why they're behind right now, 56-49. Hilltoppers trying to take advantage. Oh, I thought maybe, just maybe, that was the immovable force meets the unmovable object. Instead, it's a foul. But, you know, as a Hilltopper fan, as this is a pro Hilltopper broadcast, we'll take it. Referees have been calling fouls for both teams in this type of structure. Lewis Rowe, though, not our strongest free throw shooter, but can he knock down at least 1 from the line, and he will. So Lewis Rowe, who transferred from Sam Houston State, the former Bearcat, has been phenomenal for the Hilltoppers when available. And having to gut through this pain in order to be there on the court here this season, especially down the stretch, has been nothing short of phenomenal. But right now, it's taking a total team effort this evening as the Hilltoppers are trying to protect this lead and seeing if they can do that thing where they pull away late. What a take, though, from Damani Claxton. You knew that he was going to get his eventually, and now Claxton starting to heat up in this game. Claxton now with 8. It's poked away. Bofinger almost had it stripped away. Rattlers still with possession. They fake the 3. 23 seconds left on the shot clock. Bofinger at the top of the key. He's alongside Stedman as well as Wayne Wiggins. Bofinger down the baseline. This catch and shoot 3 from Malcolm Stedman. Makes it 57-54 as St. Mary's closes the gap within 3. Man, what a game we got going on for you here tonight. No better way to finish out the home season. As Gavino is fouled in the act of shooting the three-pointer and will be going to the free throw line. And if you're St. Mary's, this is not the guy you want to send to the stripe. Gavino has been an excellent free throw shooter throughout his tenure here on the Hilltop. Last season, 83%. Coming into this game, hitting 84% this year. Curse of the commentator, I'm afraid, as Gavino misses the first, though. It does happen. Big-time games. A lot of... Think about the student output work as well. That's just physically and mentally being ready after a long season. And I can imagine that, we talked with Gavino's dad earlier, and I can just imagine some of the emotions that might be going through his head here in his final home game on the Hilltop. Of course, always welcome back, including all of you all that are listening out there. You're always welcome to come back. Come and celebrate with us, homecoming. Come and watch, Battle of the Saints in any sport whenever you can. Gavino goes only 1 of 3 from the line. Not the best showing from the free throw line from what is usually a top-tier free throw shooter. Wander Kahosi, though. I know that's a foul, but that's a type of foul that you have to generate, as he did not give up the easy points. A bit of a sacrifice there for the Hilltoppers, as that will force the 10th foul on the board, and Lewis Rowe will have to come in for Wander. And that is Wander Kahosi's 5th personal foul as he fouls out of this game. But, man, he really laid it out there for the Hilltoppers here tonight, the young freshman, giving us some excellent minutes. I can really see with a strong offseason and work on just a couple of things, Kahosi can really become a very well-rounded player. It's 58-55. Second free throw dumps for Bofinger. 58-56. Hilltoppers up by 2. 8 minutes to go here in the home finale. Battle of the Saints. This is the type of game that you want to play in if you want to play college basketball. Catch and shoot 3 for Gavino. No, it shaves the rim. Rowe is getting pushed from behind and secures the rebound. Mason Courtney with a couple of dishes. This shot from 3, and it counts for the top of the key from way downtown. Connor McManus hits the 3. And while the points have been hard to come by for both teams here in the second half, the Hilltoppers getting the benefit of the distance on that last one. 61-56. Hilltoppers in front right now. Could use a little defensive stop here. Bofinger trying to get through, and it's Aussie versus Aussie in that go-around. And it looks like Bofinger had taken the worst end of it as he remains down. Every bucket that go in for the Hilltoppers, but can we get half of them? Because right now they have the 61-56 lead. If you have just tuned in with us for the final time from Austin this season, we're glad to have you along for the ride here tonight on Flow College Hoops. Bofinger over at the free throw line, as Bofinger will hit the first free throw, makes it 61-57. Let me tell you how things are turning out. There's 7:14 left if you just joined us. The Hilltoppers have put the Rattlers in the double bonus. The Rattlers have committed 16 fouls. One more will put the Hilltoppers in 1-and-1 situations from the free throw line from here on out. Jamison K somehow tiptoeing the line, catch and shoot 3 to make them pay, and make them pay they do. Mason Courtney. It's been McManus and Courtney back-to-back threes here in the second half. And the Hilltoppers up 64-58. The drive to the lane going up and coming down with the rebound is Mason Courtney again. He's been playing a really great game here tonight, has Mason Courtney, as everything just started to click for him here since the road trip, and we'll have a foul committed on the side. Not the type of foul that you want to commit with 6:36 remaining, because now Gavino gets to go back to the free throw line. And after having his initial shots not go his way, where he went 1 of 3, you would expect for him to work it out here this second go around like the captain usually does. Over 1,000 career points as a Hilltopper for Gavino Ramos. None bigger than these two that can come from the free throw line right now. As he makes the first to force the second free throw to come up out of the 1-and-1. Gavino now with 12 points in the game, 6 assists, 1 block, and 3 steals. And he hits both. 66-58. Let me check in with Eli. Eli, how you feeling? that nervous right now, huh, Eli? It's just one of those games?
The mic wasn't even near my...
I'm just checking in with you. How you feeling? This is a tense game.
Definitely a tense game, but definitely another Battle of the Saints Classic happening tonight, folks.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys are with us as always. This one, trying to see how it turns out. 10 seconds left. Good defense here from the Hilltoppers. Catch and shoot 3 from the wing. Comes up short. Loose ball, though. 50-50 goes into the hands of the Rattlers. Great pass in the up and under. That was some fancy finishing, and we'll have a timeout taken as with 6:03 remaining. It's 66-60 as the Hilltoppers have the lead. We'll take another one. I think that will be the end of. Welcome back, everyone. 6:03 left here in our final home game of the season as the Hilltoppers will close out the regular season on the road and hopefully with a trip to the Lone Star Conference Tournament Championship coming. Gavino off of the glass, can't get the floater to go. And as the Hilltoppers lead by 6 here in the Battle of the Saints, I'm Smash Simmons as always. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Bittersweet moment as this is our final home game. I know for you fans that are seniors, family members and stuff, probably the last time we see you as Bofinger gets the finish. But hopefully these guys can come away with a win for the final outing here at Ed Norris Joe Beck Court. We lead by 4. There's the press. Great find from Gavino. Good ball movement inside and then pops in and out of the cylinder like a fast food restaurant. 66-62. 5 minutes to go. The pass barely complete. They are able to save it on the corner. Here comes the drive from the Rattlers, and the defense goes up and meets him, and there's no foul called. Gavino gets out in transition. Next to him, this shot for 3, it's short. The fight for the rebound is knocked out of play, and the Hilltoppers will keep it as it was Bofinger who touched it last. Maho, who is down there taking pictures, also a senior, so a lot of the stuff you see on social media is because of Maho's work, who's also going to be shooting for Austin FC and maybe, just maybe, for her home national team in Costa Rica. That would be awesome. But almost got taken out there with the basketball. 66-62. 4:35 left. Catch and shoot 3 from the corner, short. Hilltoppers can't get there first. Bofinger comes down with the rebound. It's the starting 5 out there for Coach Andre Cook. It's the starting 5 out there for Coach Bubba Meyer and the Rattlers. 4:15 left. The Hilltoppers having to protect the perimeter. Bofinger trying to split the defense. He somehow saves it way out of bounds. The shot for 3, not there, and Jamison K will control the rebound. 4 minutes to go. And you can feel the tide turning as the fans can feel it now. As these kids, I thought they were going to leave. As this ball put inside. Good find from Gavino. And on the finish from Lewis Road. No pun intended, but that was huge. 68-62. But yeah, these kids did not leave. I thought they were going to leave at halftime after the ACL shootout to win those ACL tickets. But no, everybody entrenched in this game. This is true Hilltopper spirit. And let me tell you, folks, it wasn't always like this. You love to see it. Too easy of a foul to call as Jamison K's arms had come down in the act of shooting. And we can step away one as he is fouled out of this game. Big minutes from Kahosi tonight. I'm telling you, the freshman, so difficult as a freshman to jump in, but especially with McKinney out, Bofinger missing the first free throw, and that does not bode well for St. Mary's. Second one will drop. 5-point game. 2-possession game, 68-63. And you knew this is how it's going to turn out. Full court press here. Gavino trying to get out of trouble and does. They advance the ball up the court. And the Hilltoppers can slow things down here and take some time off the clock to work for a good shot. Kay was looking for the cutter that was guarded. Gavino is fouled on his drive by Iman Luwa. And Luwa committing the foul there. I think that's his third. And it is. Oh, no, make that his fourth. No, I was right the first time. Thank you, Jeremiah, down there. Got ahead of him. That is just his third. 68-63. Gavino back at the free throw line here with the 1-and-1 and hits it. For St. Mary's in this game, they've been led by Lachlan Bofinger. 19 points, 10 rebounds in his double-double here tonight to go along with 2 blocks and a steal. Claxton has 10 and 2. Stedman with 8 points and 3 boards. Lawal, 7 points. McPhee, 6 points. He's gone quiet here in the second half as we have a foul on the opposite end where the Rattlers will be going to the free throw line with Lawal, who had just committed the foul previously. Franklin Agu, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. You have Wayne Wiggins, 4 points and 4 rebounds. Reed has jumped in for a while, 3 points and a board. Jones, 1.4 rebounds. Here at the free throw line, the first shot off of the front of the rim for Lawal. And Lawal now 1 of 3 from the stripe in this game. If he hits the second one, it's a 6-point affair. And he misses the second. The fight for the rebound is picked up and put in by Stedman as he fought for possession. Gavino almost traveled and almost threw it away, and it's last touched by the Rattlers. St. Edwards has 6 seconds to advance this ball up the court, and Gavino will get it on the run. Great pass cross court, and now the Hilltoppers can kill some clock. 5-point lead for the Hilltoppers. Kay is fouled with a straight jab there. No call given as Coach Cook is standing right next to the official who saw it. There's the screen. The roll over to Lewis Rowe. Can't get the finish despite his defender falling on the ground. Lewis Rowe gets the rebound, and the Hilltoppers can work on the clock again. Instead, Gavino Ramos. They're going to call an offensive foul. Did it come after the bucket, though? So, no, they're just going to wave off the bucket. I'm not sure where that foul comes from. I thought, if anything, it comes after the put-up. But 70-65, that's a tough call to go against the Hilltoppers. On the drive, giving it off, laying this off at the elbow. It's not there, and Mason Courtney comes down with the rebound. 2 minutes to go. Final 2 minutes of the regular season here at home for the Hilltoppers. Corner three, Courtney rims it in. Mason Courtney. Big time game from Courtney here as he continues to make it rain threes inside the RAC. And we're going to have a timeout taken by St. Mary's as this Hilltopper squad rises to their feet to try to power them through. A minute 30 to go. The razzle dazzle and one. Give credit where credit is due, as that was almost an impossible play to finish. And if they weren't wearing a Rattlers jersey, I would be going ecstatic over that type of finish. But Damani Claxton showing you why he's one of the most versatile scorers in the Lone Star Conference. I'm not going to lie, Eli, that was shades of old school AI right there with that type of finish. Yeah, like a reversal, one hand to the other hand, underneath the block. That was nice. Looking for the old school three-point play here. And gets it. 73-68. The press is on. Gavino is going to call timeout as the Hilltoppers will stay. I hope you think about coming on by and seeing the Hilltop up close. One of the best views in Austin, here off of South Congress Avenue, right on top of the hill, where you get the beautiful view of downtown and the surrounding areas, South Congress and such. As the Hilltoppers and Gavino have possession, he was being ridden the entire way there defensively. And the Hilltoppers just trying to make this clock wind down and contain the lead. 1:09, 10 on the shot clock. Catch and shoot three again. Yeah! Mason Courtney just been shooting lights out in this game. Have McManus and Courtney. For Mason Courtney, that's his fourth three-pointer made in this game to go along with McManus' 4 3-pointers. Off of the drive, it's stopped, leaning like the Tower of Pisa, able to get it away. This shot from 3 doesn't go in. The second follow-up, not there. And it's Gavino Ramos who comes away with the rebound. Timeout taken by Coach Andre Cook. And he is fired up on the sidelines as the Hilltoppers are trying to take a 10-point lead here with 33.8 seconds left as we have a foul committed against the Hilltoppers. We'll go with McManus, who has led the way in scoring here tonight with 16 points. These are his first free throws of the evening, though. To put this game on ice, hits the first. A 63% free throw shooter this season. McManus can't hit the second. The Rattlers are going to have to move, and they got the players to do it. Looking for a 3 to help, and they hit it. Damani Claxton makes it 77-71. 24.6 seconds left. And we are fouled before the Hilltoppers can even inbound the basketball. So St. Edwards will go to the free throw line, as this will be a game of attrition of fouls down the stretch, where these 24 seconds can turn into 15 minutes. Free throw's good for Mason Courtney, who's an 81% free throw shooter coming into this game. Last year at Siena, shot 73% from the line. Second one also goes. This game far from over, but could possibly be the final egg in the omelet. Hilltopper 60%, 6-0 from behind the arc. And while as a team, the Hilltoppers haven't shot the free throws well, they've hit their free throws when they have counted the most, as they're 9 of 17. 21 seconds in the Battle of the Saints. Catch and shoot 3 from the wing. This is from deep distance, and it hits the top of the shot clock, and that means it goes out of play, as it's Hilltopper basketball with 16.3 seconds left. The press is on. Gavino wanted it, and the Hilltoppers are going to have to take a timeout as they couldn't get the inbound in. And I like this timeout. No reason to do anything hasteful. Just think about it again.
Oh, touchdown.
Baseball pass out. Thank you, Eli. I was wondering how you were feeling. Lewis Rowe going into the stack of chairs as both him and Bofinger, both of the Aussies, going at it there. And that's just what you expect to see from the Battle of the Saints. And I thought that was going to be the finishing touch too, Eli.
You startled me a bit. My mic got turned on. I was yelling touchdown pass.
Hey, man, it's just one of those things. I wanted you to enjoy your final moments here, too.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you.
Worked a lot of games throughout the years. And I jacked down there doing our radio broadcast. So this is his final game, too. So for 12.8 seconds, do the Hilltoppers hang on and win? 8 seconds. This shot from 3 almost went in. The rebound, not there. Rebound now good. 2.6 seconds left. It's 73-79. And it will go out of bounds. .6 seconds left. Again, we ask that you guys hold tight. We're going to go downstairs today and get a word with head coach Andre Cook after this and close out the regular season in high dramatic fashion. And hopefully you'll get a chance to see our fantastic production crew. All of that and more in our final post-game show here from Ed Norris and Joe Beck Court tonight. Second one misses, and that is it. It's a Battle of the Saints victory for the Hilltoppers. And more importantly, with that win, the Hilltoppers have secured a spot in the Lone Star Conference Tournament Championships.